QQP's The Grandest Fleet manages to keep its sense of humor while working within a traditionally dry format, the war game. This game puts you smack in the middle of the Falklands campaign, or in one of 8 other historical battles. You aren't bound to follow any of the actual history, though. The only thing that stays consistent is the geography, and if that bores you, you can make stuff up. Pick a flag and go for it.
Making stuff up is a definite asset in this game, which is extremely flexible. I also enjoyed the fact that developing the cities under your control is one of the keys to success.
The strategy element is traditional, based on firepower, movement, the limitations of each ship, and the developments of your cities. But the interface is easy for newbies like me to figure out, except for a few cryptic abbreviations that don't make much difference in actual gameplay.
It's easy to move your ships around, but I feel the interface is lacking when it comes to tracking your opponents. I can live with the notion that you can't see them until they get within a certain range, but the way they mystically appear out of nowhere makes me wonder whether they've been equipped with Romulan cloaking devices.
Really, the only problem I had with the game was keeping track of who was doing what to whom. The two opposing colors are not distinct enough at all. You're stuck with gray versus tan, and I got confused all too often.
It certainly was an interesting choice of colors. I would hate to think that I missed another trend and that gray and tan have become the hot new graphics colors without my knowing it.
To further muddle my brain, you are almost always required to fire off your own shots, except for sometimes when the computer does it for you, and I still don't know why or when. As with most strategy games, it is possible to make the computer as stupid as you are, or, as I first chose, much stupider. But even getting your butt kicked is kind of fun.
I couldn't help but notice that you took the wimp's way out and began playing somewhere around level 1. This wouldn't have bothered me if it wasn't for the fact that the designers went to the trouble to put in 21 artificial intelligence levels, and you immediately went for the lowest common denominator.
Hey, you think it's easy for a programmer to make a computer that stupid? I was impressed. There's lots of nifty explosion graphics, bangs and flashes, and occasionally a picture of a guy in an inner tube getting attacked by a shark. Now this is my kind of game.
That guy became shark bait because his ship got blown out of the water. But hey, that's life on the high seas. The graphics make a lot of sense and the whole design is easy to work with. You always know what enemy ships are within range, and the amount of damage you need to inflict to destroy them is right there on the screen where you can see it. On the whole, logic rules in the Grandest Fleet. The warfare element is fun because it's easy to understand and command. Managing your cities is a little more complicated, but it should be tougher because it's the most important part of the game.
The Grandest Fleet is a very odd thing. A naval warfare game that really lives up to the potential of the computer medium. I know it's trite, but I have to say it. This is a war game that is made for people who hate war games.